Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to this week's meeting of Essex Business Forum. Thank you for the turnout today. 21 of us, which is good. As far as the meeting is concerned, you all know what I'm supposed to do. Let's get you through the agenda. You also know that to do that I need the leadership team. May they be upstanding and introduce themselves to the meeting, please.
I'm Vincent. I chair the membership committee and I'm also in charge of the bell.
Good morning, I'm Brian, Social Secretary.
Morning, Ben, Education Coordinator.
Good morning, Scott. Handsome face. I also do the membership secretary stuff.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Terry. I deal with membership and recruitment.
Thank you. And thank you, Vince, for flagging that up. You'll be, you didn't speak Britain, did you? I know that.
Speak.
Okay, please be seated. Thank you very much. Let's get on with the meeting. First up is the performance list. So, hand you over to Scott.
Welcome to May, which means we've closed down April and we can share the results for the totals of that month. And again, it's congratulations. People from there upwards have all passed the benchmark, which is exactly what we want to see. Loads of points scored, but at the top, it's big points. So I'll read out all of those members who have topped 200 points, which is Paul Booth with square 200, 207 for Terry, 231 for Tony, 274 for me. Well done. There are some big numbers on there as well, which is great. Money passed around the group. Lots of that has been catch up, which is exactly what we want to see. You know, historical stuff that's been added in that was forgotten but is now added. So if you've got any of that, happy to receive it and get it on the list. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Excellent. Well done, everybody. Next up is the education slot. Ben, thank you very much.
Well, today it wasn't wasting any time to give a handover straight away to the lovely Auntie Jane, who's going to be providing against slot today.
Well, the lovely Auntie Jane wasn't available, but I'm standing in power. So, the ability to create a great referral means you to recall who does what and have that information at your fingertips. You can go, oh, and that's it. Well, memory can let us down. You know, you can be introduced to someone and 2 minutes later you've forgotten their name. Hands up if that's it. Oh, not just me. Excellent. Did you know, though, it's easier to remember something, especially a name, if you can associate it with something silly or something rude. The memory can retain that much better. So I can't do the rude bit here, because it's breakfast. All right. But so I'm talking about mnemonics, which is a ridiculous word, because nobody can remember the word mnemonics, but it's about memory hooks. And it's an important strategy in networking. Well, we all know what day it is today, do we? May the 4th, which is Star Wars Day. So I've come up with some little memory links. That's very good, okay. Memory links based on a few, sorry? Oh, that's Star Trek. So I've come up with a few links based on a few of us here. I couldn't think of them for everybody. So of course we've got Brian, who uses his Jedi mind tricks. Yeah.
Jedi mind tricks.
So we're doing Star Wars analogies. No, let that go. Never mind. Terry Malin. You're welcome. Terry Malin is clearly Boba Fett, who was the bounty hunter. And Tina is kind of C-3PO, a human protocol droid. A human protocol droid designed to help you out. That's you see. Now, John Hammond is pretty much our stormkeeper, because he's the defender of our realms. We
And he
love
does
that.
have really bad aim as well.
There you are. And Neil and myself, we must run Ogre's Canteen because we provide the food and the drink. I think Vincent might loosely be R2D2 because there's a sort of droidy machine connection with your work. You are quite right. Rosemary is our very own Han Solo, transporting us around. But Princess Leia is desperately in need of Fran's services to find somewhere to live after Endor exploded. And then, sorry, and finally, our motivational Toby is definitely Yoda. Use the Force, Luke, use the Force. So, you get the idea. I don't know who you think Darth Vader would be. I'll let you think on that one. Anything we can do to associate someone's name and what they do together with a memory hook is useful. I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. You didn't mention Jabba the Hutt either, which I was going to. Right. Terry, any membership matters you would like to report to us? Right. In that case, let us all prepare for the 62nd round. Your chance to highlight your business in 60 seconds. Vincent will be making his presence felt if you go over the 60 seconds. He's going to demonstrate 50 and 60. There we go. Right. The winner of the Oscar last week was Mike. Mike will be listening out carefully and will award the Oscar at the end of this meeting, or rather this round. So he will go first, and then he'll be followed by James. So take it away.
Ready? Go. You ready? Hi, Mike from Blackwater Media. I create video and photo content for businesses and event coverage. And the content I create can be used to bring in brand new audiences, as well as nurture curious potential clients that already know about you. Provide business information to existing customers, to showcase new products you might have, to provide training to your staff members, to provide visual manuals for products that you produce. I can show a business overview as a whole. I can film a customer story, showing what it's like to deal with you as a business. I can provide corporate and informal headshots and team shots, capture events for future promotion, and I can film customer testimonials about a business. And I can do a lot of those things from above using the Drive as well. In short, I can help businesses get across whatever message they most need at any point in their growth. And if you think you know any businesses this could work for, then please put them in touch with me. It's Mike at Blackwater Media.
Thank you very much, Mark. James, you're followed by Toby.
Morning, James from BHK, RMK, LDS Insurance. Throw some more initials at me if you like. Still don't know what email address I'm using tomorrow. Haven't mentioned professional indemnity for a while. I know some of you are lucky enough to have it with myself. But it is for alleged negligence or breach of duty arising from act, error or omission in the performance of professional services. The important word there is alleged. So all of you guys are very professional, you would never make a mistake, I know that. But if one of your clients was upset with you because they thought they were going to get something different and alleged that you'd made something, you've done something wrong, they will take it to court, there's costs involved. And actually, you could end up taking a lot of time and money out of your day and out of your bottom line. So the PLI swoops in and will actually pay to protect you and actually defend your honour, if you like. So if you know someone that has or gives professional services, send them my way and I will go through their PLI. Even if they've got it already, there are lots of endorsements, like I said before, that they have to worry about if it's not been checked. James, various different insurance products.
Thanks, James. Toby, you are followed by Melissa.
Good morning, everybody. So
This morning's one of those days when I woke up and realised it was Thursday and hadn't prepared anything, so I thought I'd read out some stuff that other people have written about me, about motivational mapping. This system is fantastic and highly accurate. Understanding your motivators is so very important, but we often find it hard to express what they are, even to ourselves. Give it a try, you won't regret it. Another one, motivational maps produce real results. I would recommend trying a session if you're serious about making yourself and your team as successful as they can be. Another one, motivational maps recognise the key importance of understanding motivation in order to get the best out of other people. The analysis is insightful, the explanation clear and concise, and the value certain. And finally, we've recently used motivational map service to map all the employees in the business. The whole exercise was extremely painless and easy and threw up some interesting results. The upshot is that we'll be using the tool to help focus the business along process delivery lines rather than traditional departmental boxes. I'm glad we did it. So that's Toby Acton, motivational mapping, helping business owners and their teams to understand each other.
Thank you, Toby. Melissa, you're next and you're followed by Ben.
Good morning, everybody. Melissa Jackson, Cameron Francis, licensed consultancy practitioner. So let me just tell you again about what I do and the types of businesses that I work with. So as a licensed consultancy practitioner, I am regulated by the Institute of Chartered Accountants, England and Wales, and that means that I've got responsibility for dealing with companies and individuals with financial distress. It's a position of great responsibility. We're required to deal with the company assets, the employee, lots of technical and statutory matters like finding information of the company's house, dealing with pensions, like I say, dealing with employee matters, recovering assets for the general body of creditors, although we are originally instructed by the directors, which is sometimes quite confusing. So if you do know anybody that is in financial distress and welcome some advice, then please put them in touch with me. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. Ben, you're followed by Brian.
Good morning, guys. Ben Golding from Utility Warehouse. So may the 4th be with you. In the words of Yoda, always pass on what you have learned. Now, I have learned by helping people switch their services to UW, you can save them hundreds of pounds. Now, yesterday I became a Jedi Knight when I spoke to a young family that were in BT, British Gas and EE, paying £370 a month. After a quick chat with me, they're now paying £290, saving them £80 a month, nearly £1,000 a year, and that's before our boost and our cashback. So every time they go and visit their old enemy, Pizza the Hut, they will now get savings. So this week I am on a peace-making mission to help people come away from the dark side, that is BT and British Gas. Get the cheapest energy in the UK and great discounts on bundling services and our bill-busting boost. Because I will save the planet and save people money, because do or not do, there is no try. That's Ben Golding, Utility Warehouse.
That was more exhausting than Toby. Thank you very much, Ben. Brian, let's hear from you and then followed by Max.
Morning, everybody. Excuse me, Brian Clinton, therapist, focused therapy. Only had 2 days working since I've returned. I lost 4 clients postponed through COVID. So I've just seen a couple of smokers and a few people with phobias. I had a holiday. I spent a lot more than anticipated. In fact, I'll tell you how much the money went down. The last 2 nights we had to make do with Prosecco instead of champagne. You can all help me, please. I'm not looking for money, I'm looking for referrals. You know what I want? Phobias, panic attacks, smokers, anything like that. Excuse me, refer them to me. Thank you very much. I'm Tim Favours, Pilgrim Physical Therapy, anticipating your support.
Thank you, Brian. Moving high on the hog. Matt, you're next, and Stuart will follow.
Good morning, everyone. Matt Barron from Blue Seraph. I'm actually later today giving a talk to a business group that's associated with Essex Cricket Club on rebranding and why it's important. I want to share a few insights with you. Rebranding for businesses is not always front of mind, but it's really important if your products and services change. It's always worth evaluating where your target market is and where they're in relation to your goals and ambitions for your business. And a rebrand can be a very, very powerful tool that can not only realign you with that target market and align you with your missions and values, but also give you an opportunity to reach out to all of those target markets as part of a marketing strategy. So if you are thinking that your business identity, and it's not necessarily just your logo, it can be any element of that, needs to have a little bit of a rethink, then please do get in touch with me. That's Matt Barron from Lucent.
Thank you, Matt. Stuart, you're followed by Mike Hickson.
Good morning, my name's Stuart from Energy Networks. We all know one of the things that we all use in our business every day is an internet connection. Okay, whether we're using that to run CRMs, security systems, emails, web chats, anything along those lines, we all need a good internet connection. There are a whole raft of different sort of levels of connections out there, from basic, general, broadband, right up to fully dedicated business-grade internet services. What we like to do is speak to a customer, find out their exact address details and see what options we can get at that particular address. And then we can advise exactly what their need is, as to what service we can provide. So what we're looking for is businesses that are struggling with their internet, people that you hear moaning about things so slow all the time. There are other options out there. So we just want to have that introduction, just to have a chat, please. Stuart at LG Networks.
Thank you, Stuart. Mike, you are followed by Nick.
This morning I thought I'd tell you a little bit about 3 prospects I had meetings with in the last month. They're all of a similar size business, probably not dissimilar to most of the businesses that I'm saying. And they all had a similar problem, which was poor service from their incumbent IT service provider. But to be more specific, it wasn't poor service, it was no service. The first prospect was dealing with a one-man band operation where the principal had been admitted to the hospital. The second was dealing with a reasonably large stationary organisation who subcontracted their IT services to a one-man band operation, and the principal had decided to retire. And the third was dealing with a one-man band operation where the principal had decided to go on holiday and not provide any hospitality cover. 3 very different scenarios with one common outcome: zero service to the end user. So if you or anyone else you know has dealings with a one-man band IT service provider, give them my details and let me have a chat. That's Mike from MSA.
Thank you, Mike. Nick Cook, followed by Leanne.
Well, good morning everyone, my name is Nick, I'm a structural engineer. I've had some really interesting jobs in the last couple of weeks. I wanted to share them with you, but when you've only got 60 seconds, you can't do it. So all I can do is basically say who I am, what I do, what I'm looking for. So you know my name is Nick, I'm a structural engineer. A lot of my time is spent looking at houses for people who want to buy a new house. I do a lot of structural design for people who want to alter their house in some way. So that's what I do. My name's Nick, I'm a structural engineer.
Thank you, Nick.
All within about 50 seconds of 30.
So Nick looks at houses, Leanne looks in houses.
And I love doing that. So I'm Leanne from Brooklyn Interiors, and I help my clients create functional and beautiful houses. And I do this by getting to know my clients. I sit with them, I chat with them, I find out how they maybe ask sort of personal questions, what they're doing in their spare time, hobbies and everything. But it's to get to know them, to understand them, to give them a home that works for them. Now, sometimes this isn't always for a home, it could be for a second home, a holiday home. So if you know anyone with a holiday home in and around the Essex area, I can help them do that. I can go in and I can also arrange for all the trades to get the decorating done. So it's not just private homes, it's holiday homes as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Leanne. Terry is next, followed by Vincent.
Yeah, good morning everybody. Terry May from TM4 Services. Just I'll tell you a quick tale about clients this week. They own a company. They foolishly granted one of their employees some shares. That employee is now gone and they want the shares back. And there is a mechanism in place for a shareholders agreement. But unfortunately, the solicitor for the man who is trying to sell his shares doesn't really have a clue how to apply it in the real world. She thinks that there's a valuation for shares, which is perfectly true, and that we're going to pay whatever the valuation is, which is not true. And I keep trying to explain to this other solicitor that The shares are only worth what someone's going to pay for them. It's like common sense. Some solicitors can get the law and apply it in a common sense way, and some can't. I can, thankfully for my clients. Unfortunately for the other parties, they can spend an awful lot of money getting valuations done, and we're still only going to pay them what the shares are worth to us. So if you know anyone that's involved in a situation where the solicitor hasn't got any common sense, please look at my details, which I hope I have. Terry Maley, thank you.
Thanks, Terry. Vincent, you're next, and you're followed by someone else. Oh, Rosemary.
Good morning, everyone. Visible Steve Rams. Let's have a quick show of hands. Can you put your hands up if you eat? Hands up those of you that eat. That's the majority. So for those of you that don't eat, thanks very much for participating in that. We print menus. That's a Thai dessert menu. This is an Italian restaurant wine menu, blah, 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 etc., etc. This is a gastro pub. That's a gastro pub, all that sort of thing. But we've done this recently, the View Lounge, which is like a shisha bar that serves hotty steaks, mate. And this goes inside one of those big leather menu books. But I wanted to draw your attention to one of these things here. Look at that. Gold, 24 karat gold steak of some description. Aged rib steak, £120. £120. So I'd like an introduction to restaurants, cafes, gastro pubs. Oh, I'm finished. There you go. Ice cream bars, shisha lounges. I have the wine menu.
Thank you very much, Vincent. Rosemary, you're next, and you're followed by Scott.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Rosemary, your personal travel agent. If you're still looking for that perfect getaway, I can find it for you. I've had some great feedback this week from clients. My head office, when you book a holiday, they send out a questionnaire to see what you thought of my service, etc. And I've had 10 back with scores of 10, so I was really happy about that. I like it because it's lovely to hear what people have to say about you and give you a pat on the back sometimes. One of the comments was, we've booked our cruise holidays through Rosemary for many years now. The service she offers is second to none, always readily available to offer help and advice. Rosemary goes beyond the term excellent service, from the initial inquiry to the booking. In any queries during our cruise, she's only ever a phone call away. So yeah, rest assured, if you book with me, you'll have excellent service. There's a fantastic offer this week on a really lovely luxury river cruise. It's reduced from £4,399 to just £199 per person. So if you're interested in that, on the Douro River Valley, please give me a call. Thank you.
Or 1999.
1999, sorry.
Just filling out that referral slip. Good morning. Scott from SEO, and not using the force, but protecting you against the force this week. One of the big problems that we deal with as a hosting provider for hundreds of companies is brute force. Brute force attacks on websites, it happens all the time. As an example, just this week, the EVF website has received over 450 brute force attempts to log in and take over the site. Toby's website, it's not even launched yet, it's just a one page. 320 brute force attempts to log in and take control on his site. Thankfully, we can protect you from all of that stuff. When I say we, not me at all, but the solutions that we have in place that stop you from bad bots getting in, sniffers that will come and try and look for vulnerabilities and loopholes and weak spots in your system. So we protect you against brute force and all the naughty stuff on the net.
Like an extract from The Hobbit. Yeah. Right. Howard, you are next, and you will be followed by Joe, who will be followed by Tina.
Good morning, everyone. Howard Blue from Tier Financial Advice. We're independent financial advisors. Earlier this week, I saved a gentleman £600,000 in tax. So that's not hypothetical tax or potential tax. That's actual tax that his family will be paying at some point in the next 12 months had I not intervened. I don't really know this guy, he's not a client, but I heard through the grapevine this chap is unfortunately terminally ill, and the prognosis is really quite poor. So he's reorganising his affairs. very sensible. And one of the things he was about to do was transfer his pension from quite a complicated arrangement into something more simple for his beneficiaries to make use of when he goes. If you do that, if you transfer your pension and you're seriously ill, so not even terminally ill, but seriously ill, and if you pass away within 2 years of the transfer, that entire pension pot is liable for inheritance tax at 40%. And his pension is worth just over 1.5 million. So had he gone ahead, in a few short months, that would have triggered a £600,000 tax charge. So if you're doing anything with money, particularly pensions or things that are a little bit more complicated, but you're doing something that seems fairly simple and straightforward and obvious, it's really worth running it past an IFA, because you never know what's out there. Thank you.
Thank you, Howard. Jay, you're followed by Tina.
Hello everybody, Auntie Jane here. The English Green Tea Company has been busy this week because we have something happening on Saturday. So we've got crown-shaped scones or scones and cookies and all sorts going out because we've got to be in keeping. And we've got an afternoon tea on Sunday, which is all red, white and blue and absolutely lovely. Still have one table of 4 if you're keen to come out. I'll offer you a deal. Not down to £1.99. And we also, apparently we're in Chat magazine as of today. It's one of those rather poor quality magazines, I'm thinking, ones that say, you know, my baby was eaten by an alien or something like that. Front cover, so I don't know what they've done with me on the inside. And then finally, we've done a TikTok for Dunelm, and I'm really hoping they want to pay me to do more of those. That would be a marvellous way forward. So busy week. Next week, though, I won't be with you. I'm going to the Eurovision up in Liverpool. So, sending you my love, but we leave Thursday morning. Thank you. I hope I win. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. Tina, you're followed by me.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Tina. My company's called Liberty Executive Services. I offer a secretarial and admin service. The benefits of using a virtual PA: you don't have to pay for holiday pay, sick pay, national insurance, or even pension contributions. And the best part about it is we can still save you money. So if you know anybody that needs secretarial support, but can't afford a full-time secretary, but only needs help every so often, please pass on my details. That's me, Tina, Liberty Executive Services, not 9 to 5, from start to finish.
Thank you, Tina. I am followed by John Hammond. TM Law, we do business law. We're a one-stop shop for business law. You might need a commercial lease dealing with a landlord or tenant. We do that. You might take on staff. You might need a contract of employment. We do that. Setting up with another, shareholders or partnership agreement. And providing goods and services, you'll need terms and conditions drafting. And when you owe money, we can proceed it for you. So it's a one-stop shop. We're TM Law. And next is John. And you are followed by Paul.
Good morning, everybody. I'm John from JMH Technology. Today I want to talk about gates and barriers here. When we go to a client site, we have to use business test equipment, which we call Yoda. And it tests for the force on the gates. And the idea is that the force can't be enough to push anybody. Now, we went to a site today, one of the insurance companies here actually has a premises there. The client is meant to test the gates on a weekly basis. It's meant to check the safety. On this particular site, the push safeties are hanging off the wall, so they don't comply whatsoever. So we're having to send a red notice in for not to use the gates, and we're sending them partial rectification. But it is the client's responsibility to make sure they're working, and that weekly test is very important. They have to have manual tests or binding tests as well, but that weekly test is very important to stop lawsuits. So that's me, John Hammond, JMH Technology. We can actually test all your gates.
Thank you, John. Paul.
Morning, Paul Booth from Booth & Co, Chartered Certified Accountants. So sitting today, I've got Howard. Thank you, Howard. Howard, can you hold this in your left hand, please? Just in, yep. Care to guess how much that weighs?
Well, Howard,
ounces. No, they've got that.
275. That's right.
Anything else?
This is running £2.
As soon as we take that.
Okay. Well, in truth, I don't really care what the absolute weight is. The bottle, if it's not drunk, is going to stay the same weight now, later or tomorrow. But The longer Howard holds on to that, it becomes a problem. At the moment, it's not a problem, he can do that easily, but in half an hour's time, it will start playing on his mind, he'll hurt, etc. And I'm going to equate this bottle for someone who hasn't got their own accountant. It becomes a problem if they try to deal with it themselves. So today I'm looking for anyone who hasn't got an accountant. That's Paul Booth from Booth & Co. Minimise tax.
Let's see.
Maximise
how
I think it's becoming a problem now.
Right. Thank you, Paul. That brings the 60-second round to an end. Mike.
Mentions go to Scott for protecting against sniffers and naughty stuff, which I think is always a valid guy. Howard, I thought there was a notable mention there for fighting against inheritance tax, but you didn't actually tell us what you did, so
I told him not to do what he was going to do.
No, fair enough. Yeah. And you've got a badge for us for the bottle holding as well, so yeah, that's great. And I'll give it this week to Vince. I thought those menus look fantastic and lots of menus look crap.
Oscarina's back.
And also rising at great photographers.
Thank you, Mike. Well done, Vince. Right. Next up on the agenda is Scott with his meeting secretary's report. Scott, take it away.
Just done me quick mental maths. About 10K's worth of business recorded this week, which isn't a bad start. Well done. Thank you to all of you who have spent some time working with Tina to improve your quick social media introductions for your business. We need to just do a quick review on those. There are some that still a bit naff that we need to work on and improve, but then we can probably get cracking with pushing out some continued promotion for your businesses across all the social channels and see how it works. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. Right. Next major part of the meeting is, of course, the 10-minute presentation. So I hand you over this.
So, a couple of things about John. So, John's best day out is sat in the Queen's back garden, eating a picnic that she had personally made for John, watching Madness perform on the roof of Buckingham Palace at the Queen's Jubilee. Prized possession, a payment ring, because everyone likes to look at it when John gets his ring out. Okay. Favourite holiday location and why is Centre Parks, because he can be a big kid. Just likes to have fun with the grandkids, otherwise you look like a ponker. And finally, a sentence on John's headstone: it was only a flesh wound. With that, please welcome Mr. John Hammond.
As you know by now, I'm John Hammond from JMH Technology. We provide all types of your security needs, and it's not just limited to what you normally think of as security. Bit of background about myself. Left school at 16, and I managed to get an apprenticeship with an electronics company. They won an MOD contract for providing security systems. I volunteered to actually be the apprentice on site. Great experience that was. I worked in every RAF base and every army base in the country and outside of the country, not knowing exactly where I was at the time. So we did Northern Ireland, which I knew where we were, but we also flew out to other places where we didn't know where we were. So the experience of that was wonderful for a 16-year-old. The knowledge that that team gave me was brilliant. It set me up for the future. They taught me so much about electronics. So by the age of 20, I'd already got my own team. We'd commissioned fire alarms at Bromsgrove Hospital, Redditch Hospital, and even Wrexham Hospital, right next to the football ground. And we'd also done a number of MOD bases. So, because of the sites we were working on, security was a big concern for the MOD. So before I got married, the wife had to have an 8-hour interview with the Men in Black. Now at the age of 18, she wasn't too happy about that, but luckily she still married me after that, and I still got the security clearance. But it was a bit nerve-wracking for an 18-year-old sat there with these two burly blokes. So in 2001, I set up JMH. The reason I set it up, I thought the company I was working for was not treating the customers fairly. I thought they were ripping them off on price and ripping them off on service. And I didn't like that, I didn't want to be associated with that. So I set up JMH in 2001. In 2007, we moved to a limited company, primarily because people didn't know what LLPs were and things like that, so limited was the best way to go. I've been doing this job for a long, long time now. Got a vast amount of knowledge from all the sites we've been on. And like I say, I've been there, seen it and got the t-shirt. But that doesn't mean we're not learning every day. Every day we're learning something new. Technology moves on so quickly in this industry, so you've got to keep up with the times. But it's not only technology, it's learning about different securities that have failed on site and what you need to do to implement more. So that's it, we're learning every day. So what does JMH do best? We spend a lot of time with the client and work out what their problem is. And it's not always totally obvious. What they think their perceived problem is, it might not actually be their problem. The security systems we install can be discrete ones, so it might be looking at something they didn't realise was a problem. We had a supermarket once which thought they were getting shoplifters, and they weren't getting shoplifters, it was a staff doing it. And we put a camera above the ceiling in the toilets, so you didn't see anything in the toilets, but it was above the ceiling. And we put one in the corridor outside the toilet, and you could actually see the staff putting bottles of drink above the ceiling. You can see who it was, but the one in the corridor certainly caught a face recognition of who'd been in there. And if they're the one who went in and the one who came out and no one in between, it was them who stole it. And that sold that shop a fortune because they were looking in the wrong place. So we have to think outside the box, right? It's not always what the client thinks it is, but we always do it to a high standard, and we use quality equipment and we try to do it right and right first time. If we don't, it's our problem. It's not clients. We go back and fix it. So, CCTV is a big part of what we do, and we install a lot of these static cameras. Now we prefer static cameras. These cameras are called pan, tilt and zooms, which means they move around all over the place, PTZs. It's all right if you've got control room, but if the camera's pointing over there, something's happening over there, it doesn't see it. Even if it's got guards on, if it points over there, you've just moved over there to do what you want to do. So they're great if you've got an on-site control room. But as many statics as you can put in is better. And the thing is, you can put 3 statics in for every one pan, tilt and zoom camera. So you can cover the area with statics. One of the things that a lot of installers forget, it's not the live pictures what you're really interested in, it's the recording quality. You've got to have good recording quality pictures to be able to see what's happening. We download a lot of information for the police and the security services, and it's that high quality that allows them to make arrests and actually jail the people who've done the problems. And we do this all the time. And it's a testimony to our quality of systems that they can use this in the court of law, and there's no ifs, no buts, no maybes. It's there in the study. Okay, that does present a problem because I have to deal with defence lawyers. And they can ask some challenging questions sometimes, which they only want a yes or no answer to. And you can't give yes and no answers because it doesn't work like that on CCTV. You can't say that's the video that I downloaded unless you can actually see the metadata for it. So that does present problems actually standing up in court and being a defence witness. But we also install intercom systems. Now, on Mike's offices, we installed a 2N intercom, and the reason we picked that one is it worked with Stuart's phone system really nicely, but we could also program it remotely, so any changes we don't have to go to site. So it's very cost effective and works brilliantly. On our offices, we install the Paxton intercom. Primary reason for that is got the access control built in as well. But we can also get it so when a delivery driver comes up, we can open the roller shutter, but we also not only see that camera, but we see the camera that's inside the loading bay, so we can see what the delivery driver's doing. That's perfectly secure, it's only out of the loading bay. But it gives us the peace of mind, we can see he's delivered the parcel, we're not taking one of the other parcels. On another client, Lingers Road, we installed a convict intercom, and these are in their apartments. 160 of the apartments, which was a nice little project for us, apart from because Royal Mail, which I don't already realise, decide the house numbers. So in your street, your house numbers are decided by Royal Mail, not by the builders, not by anybody else, and they renumbered all the flats. Which we then had to go around and re-encoding all the intercom units, so flat 16 actually was flat 16 and not flat 2 now. Because they decided which way they walk round. On another client, which I can't tell you who he is because we've got a massive NDA in place, signed in blood and everything like that, but we installed these Hanwha intercoms. The reason we picked these Hanwha ones is we had a good relationship with Hanwha and we got them to rewrite the firmware so it would talk to their Zoom telephone system. So they can have it on their meeting conference calls or on their telephone system or on their mobiles from the Hanwha intercom anywhere in the world. So when their office in Amsterdam is got no receptionist, the place in Texas, Austin, can actually open the door for them if it's the right person, or if it's a contractor going there, so now you've got to wait another 10 minutes, receptionist will be there. So we pick the intercom to actually suit the application. It's not one thing fits all. There's no point fitting a Comnet intercom like this one. Amsterdam wouldn't work. So we pick the one that matches the best solution for the client. So that's intercom. What else do we do? We do access control as well. Now, you could have a standard little keypad unit. Is that 8 minutes already? Wow. We can have a standard keypad unit, which we put on dementia units, or you can go more intelligent and have smart card readers or fingerprint readers. And no, you can't cut the fingers off because you've got to read the blood in the actual finger itself. It doesn't work if you just actually read the fingerprint. And the eyeballs, again, the eyeballs need the same thing. I'm obviously missed time now because I'm up to 9 minutes now. So, any questions?
Do we have another 5 minutes? It's so interesting.
It's very good.
Two questions, kind of. One, your take on the sort of the worries about that kind of tech and the Chinese infrastructure and whether certain things are allowed or not, and domestic level tech like that. I'm very interested in.
We will not use Hikvision cameras. We haven't used Hikvision cameras for about 5 years. We actually found ourselves that packets of data were going out that weren't recognisable for the CCTV system, so we don't know what it was doing. And that's exactly what the British government been testing and they banned it. And to the extent that any government building has got to have it ripped out, every school has got to start thinking about ripping it out. And in the past, you've had things happen in the financial markets that you think, how did they know that? Well, were they getting snapshots of data on computer screens? And in the domestic market, yeah, you've got the same problem with stuff is stored in the cloud. How secure is it? And especially about hacking people's Wi-Fi. And if it's Chinese cameras, it could be sending data out of the internet. If your data points have access to the internet, there's no problem with it sending burst information out. So it is a real big concern.
For CCTV recordings, how long do you normally recommend that people keep? How big does the DVR need to be?
You're allowed to record it for 28 days without a business purpose for why you need to record it longer. And that justification could be as simple as fact as we might not know within 28 days. The law used to say 28 days. We've got clients that hold it 180 days. It's the quality of recording, and we only record on motion. So it's the quality of recording and how much motion there is in the picture, how long we record for, and how big a drive we need. We took a standard of about an 8 terabyte drive for just 8 cameras. But if you talk about the petroleum company, we were in the realms of, what's bigger than a terabyte?
Petabyte.
We were in the realms of those because they were recording every camera at 4 megapixels for 180 days, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, because they had a tanker that pulled onto their side, filled up, and left, and it was the wrong company. And they ended up paying all the VAT, as well as all the lots of fuel, but they had to pay VAT to HMRC because it left their bonded warehouse no matter what it was for.
Are those bigger drive FSD?
No, they're not at the moment, they're gold drives. especially if it's for security purposes because of the way they constantly write them. But again, one of the things that we do with CCTV, any faults it emails us, so we know about the faults before the clients do. So if you've got a hard drive failing or you've got a camera out, it emails us, and when we phone the client, do you know this? Sometimes because they've got a power outage, sometimes it's not.
Are there any privacy laws in terms of having the cameras inside, in terms of employees? What can they say?
You have to have it in your company handbook. You've got to have signs everywhere. If you're recording audio as well, there's even more regulations. But signage is the major thing in having the customer handbook. We record audio in our loading bay, primarily because we had a fight with 2 delivery drivers in there. Unbelievable.
Oh, really? Thank you. So, personal property protection and personal protection is quite a thing. Social media is full of images of people stealing parcels from the front door. And also, when people go to Airbnb and hotels, there are secret cameras in the bathroom and so on.
Yeah.
And there's a gadget you can apparently yeah. And where's this going? Have you any comments about this personal protection aspect?
The gadget, the cheap ones is the only thing.
Right.
It's very hard because we supply these screen cameras you wouldn't even know was there. But you have to have a business. You have to have a business reason why you've done it. We've had them in light switches, in smoke detectors, and primarily it's been to catch people stealing. We've caught cleaners stealing the loose change out of the top of the luggage.
Really?
Yeah, because they thought it's their right to have a Mars bar. So they'll take 2p's and 10p's out of people's stores. That seems to have stopped now with cashless, but we used to that. We've got clients at the moment, they're planning on CCTV covering their offices because they told people to return 3 days a week. And people say they are, but according to the access control system, they're not. But on one department, the access control system is saying that the HR department is in, and there's only one person there. So other people in that department are swiping their colleagues' cards, and that's the HR department.
It's got to say you can't have to anything anymore, Jane.
Right. I think that's
last one. You know, but so many people are now have got these Ring doorbells.
Yeah.
Is there any obligation on the house owner to make it clear to a potential thief or anyone walking past, even the postman, that they're being recorded?
You should put a CCTV sticker in the window. I did issue some out. Yeah, so you should have a CCTV.
And if you don't know what's going to happen,
you can't really, you shouldn't use it for evidential purposes without saying it, and you shouldn't post it on the internet. One of the fears is, if you could see it by standing there, then on outside, then there's no argument about recording, because you could have done that by viewing. But you just for safety, just put a sticker in the window saying CCTV recording. Just say so much. I expect businesses have got to do it.
right. John, thank you very, very much. Yeah, very, very interesting, and particularly like the eye and the nose pick. I thought that was excellent. Thank you. Right, the referrals and testimonials round. We start as usual with Paul and work round.
Yeah, brilliant, John. Thank you for that, as always. Couple of thank you monies for Scott and ex-member.
Well, I'm John put cameras in at my home and the office, and when the car got stolen from my driveway a couple of years ago, I couldn't get the view to work. I called up John, and blessed he was in Spain, and within 3 minutes, he gave me a call back and said, yeah, here's the footage of Bert walking up to my drive, jumping in the car and driving off.
It's brilliant that was, because the guy just walked up to the door handle and didn't even bat an eyelid.
No.
Cleaning and speed, put the seatbelt on.
It was quite difficult. Unfortunately, I had the hoodie on, so you couldn't see his face. Matt, I haven't put this as a referral, but I've spoken to someone who I think should be using your services, and hopefully they'll give you a call.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that, John. Obviously, we get to talk about No, I've got one of those systems there. So if you needed a home alarm, they are really, really good. I've got a referral. You weren't here last week, James. I gave you a referral for my home insurance. I spoke to Lee, and he did it all for me. And that's now gone ahead. So now I've written for you, to me, thank you for the money I've I've done my bit, and your bit, you're welcome. Have a good weekend.
Really enjoyed that. It's really interesting, actually. So you do home alarms as well?
Yeah, we do, but we don't primarily. The problem with intruder alarms is whether you need police response, whether you just want audio response. The problem with police response is you've got to wait 10 minutes to make any noise. And for the best will in the world, they don't turn up in 10 minutes. So we tend to do man guarding sites, and that way you can have a big burly bloke coming in at the end or whatever. Domestics, we do, but it's not our primary business. So for people here, we would certainly do alarms for corporate clients where their director needs an alarm, we do it as well.
Okay, that's really interesting. Great head slot as well, Jane.
Thank you.
Really lovely. Yeah, so thank you all very much.
Great meeting, nice head slot, Jane. And you're very engaging talk.
Yes.
Really, very, very interesting. And it's a subject that we all can all identify. In fact, you know, business-wise.
I have a lot of it as well.
And home-wise. Right, I've got a from Scott, my ongoing hosting of my website. Thank you very much. All being well, I'll see you next week.
Really good instruction, Jane. Really good 10 minutes. I'll put my right up companies that I'm under. And we've got NAS systems.
Follow on hand with thoughts on the place we go and try and get people to actually change their supply.
I've got thank you for the money for Terry. Really good. Quite nice places. Let's hope I can go back there and dish some fruit out. See you all next week.
Yeah, thanks to the head start guys. Illuminating as always, and John, fascinating. I've got one, thank you for the money for Paul Booth for an annual contract that came from referral.
Well done, Joe. That was an entertaining lecture and thoughtful, and well done, John. Lovely. We could probably have another 10 minutes. We would have loved it. Very interesting, a bit scary, but very interesting. Fell for Vince. And then just a testimony for Tina. She did a job for me this week. Can't say anything more about it. And all that.
Oh, excuse me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I'm Jane from the Head Slot, and yeah, that's a fantastic job. Merrily done on 5-10 minutes there. Nothing to pass on, I'm afraid. I have to see Terry a bit later on to do some videos, and thanks to Matt for the Brentwood Chamber networking group last week. It was really good. Yep, as Neville said, brilliant. Could have happily listened to you for an hour talking about all that stuff. Let's catch up on the conversation we started earlier. That would be wonderful. Thank you, Jane, for the Star Wars. That was excellent. Really great idea. Thank you to the money for 3 ex-members. Some good money this week.
If you've got time, it's probably worthwhile getting a one-to-one with John. I certainly would like to know more presentation. Thank you. But you'll be probably under a floor law or obviously won't be able to do it.
Very cool at the moment.
That's for Mike Skinner for the referral for my daughter-in-law, and that's to James for we'll see this system in action. That's for the referral for the my car insurance. Great meeting. Thank you.
John, that was brilliant. Yeah, really, really good. And as Aidan said, we've probably gone on for another 10 minutes, and we've all been fascinating just as much, really. Yeah, but don't realise how much goes into it. But brilliant 10 minutes. Yeah, great head slot from Jane. Yeah, always like the Star Wars analogies as well. But I've got a small referral there for Rosemary, what we were talking about, the flights for the one. However, it may, if we can, we might be able to sort something out for a couple of other people as well. So it may be small as well.
Thank you.
But no, we'll have a chat and get that booked in. And Terry, I'm passing your details on to somebody that's owed some money by somebody who's trying to almost blackmail them. There. But we'll have a chat because I need to take things further before I pass it on. So I won't put it in so we know what's what. And then we'll go from there. I'll give you a shout, let you know what it's all about, and go from there. But yeah, great meeting. See you next week.
Wonderful, thanks, Jane. Well done. Great analogies. Great 10 minutes, John. Really engaged. Good to see that we've moved on from shards of glass being cemented into marble walls.
You can't do that,
A few one-to-ones, Mike, Toby, Fran, Peter. And actually a referral for you. The offices that we're in at the moment, they've got one they're redoing up and everything, or they're just about to start in Chelmsford, and they're going to do one in Basildon. I thought, it could be a good. Anyway, over to everyone.
Excellent 10 minutes, always fascinating, John, and John, as I'm expert on these, is connected to a bit more. My notes and various things that are in the house. Got referral here for Stuart. Bill really fixes my digger. Mentioned to me that he has no internet service at his home in University. So I'll be in one other today and hopefully we can get something out. Excellent. Precious lot, Jane. Thank you for visiting. Thanks to everyone. Nice to be back and see you next week.
Yeah, good meeting. Any reference to Star Wars is great. Any to really presentations got 7 body parts is always going to go down well, isn't it? I've got a thank you for the money for Stuart, but I've sorted that out, so don't worry. Thank you for money for Aidan as well. And yeah, see you next week.
Excellent meeting, great 10 minutes, John. I enjoy your 10 minutes. All Mission Impossible stuff with the 7 eyes and that. Fantastic. Very much up my street. Scott, thanks for the free, well, I hope it was free advice last night for the Parish Council. I got an invoice and I was passed on to the Parish Council. And I've got a testimony for Melissa. Absolutely massive thanks to her for somebody I put her in touch with her. Her professionalism, her competence, her knowledge, her experience has just been absolutely brilliant. I know that the person I referred to is eternally grateful for that and your generosity of time. Yeah, if you haven't had a one-to-one with Melissa, hopefully none of us will ever need her services personally. You haven't had a one-to-one with her, so yeah, huge thanks for that. Also, one-to-one with Matt, Mike, and Fran. So take your pick, let them fight over it. Yeah, so.
Let's put that down as 3 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Just the trick there.
And thank you, Matt, for that.
Thank you, John. Absolutely fascinating. John installed a security system in my home after it had been burgled. Did that last year. 2 weeks ago, I learned you can actually set the alarm via your phone. I've actually been brave enough to try that. Yes. Press the button. Thank you, Jane. When I first joined about 15 years ago, I used association to remember people saying, Nick was Father Christmas was back in my mind, and Stuart was Jeff Cates, those who remember. And that's how I remember those.
Why don't you call me Simon? That's what you're doing.
Sorry, see you next week.
Thank you.
See you on you.
Thank you, Mike, for the Oscar. It wasn't even one of my better ones, so make all rubbish. I've known John. Thank you, John. I've known John since I first met you. And May the 4th is also an important date for me personally, because my book on Gants Hill, History and Photographs, publishes today. Yeah, you can all really cute, available on Amazon, or signed copy from me, which is what Jane just got me. So thank you for the money.
Thank you.
Have I missed anything out? No.
Well, that was great. John, you do have a manner that is very easy to listen to. I think you could go on the international speaker circuit. I can introduce you to my agent.
I don't like it.
Well, we come across really well. And of course, it wouldn't have been your talk without these severed limbs coming around. That's very good. This is last week's Synergy meeting. So I just put that there. Vincent, for a copy of your book, please. Hot off the press. And Tina, I've introduced to an event, well, they need an event organiser. I hope it will come to something. Best of luck with that. Great meeting. Thank you, everybody.
Great meeting. I'm going for this week. I've spent a lot of time with the police trying to download footage for a sex attack. Which hopefully I won't need to get a call for. But the evidence is just phenomenal. And I'll see you at the debate. Excellent. And I'll see you all next week.
Thank you.
Now, oh yeah, GoPro.
Let's have a finger. From
Jane to Tina.
Jane.
Oh, well done.
Right. John, thank you very much indeed. An excellent 10 minutes. Kept us all entertained. It was very informative. Right. The sun's shining and I'm about to send you on your way. But before I do, anybody got any announcements to make? Paul?
Yeah, next Tuesday, 4 to 20 PM, George and Dragon now dressing. It's the B2B finance questions. Senior team meeting. I'll send out a normal invite and reminders. Hopefully see you as many there as possible.
Thanks, Paul. Does anybody else have any announcements that they wish to make to the meeting? This is your last chance. Right. Thank you all for attendance. Thank you for a great meeting. And let's be safe out there, and I look forward to seeing you all next week.